Hi, Dave Smith here from DJS Photography. It's taken me a little while, but I have finally figured out a method for showing the image on the ground glass screen of this 10x8 camera. It requires me changing the lens, which I'm going to do. And so what I want to do with this video is to show the effect of the various movements that we used in setting the camera up. And this is still set up to shoot this this diagonal line of desiccated roses. And what I'll do in just a moment, I'll do it off camera. I'm going to zero out all the movements that I made when I showed you the setup to get all of this in focus. And then I'm going to show you the various stages of swinging the lens, swinging the back, okay, and just a word about that before we get into seeing what happens with those swings on the actual ground glass. I think it's worth pointing out that I don't have to swing the back. I could have left the back square, and then its plane would come out all the way to here. The subject plane would meet the back plane around here. And what that would mean in practice is that I would actually have to swing the lens panel significantly further in order to use the Scheinflug and get those three planes to meet at this point over here. By moving the back as well, it means that I need less swing on the lens plane. There's no reason particularly for that. It's just the way I preferred to do it at that time, and it showed more of the movements in the camera. But one thing to bear in mind when you do that is swinging or tilting the back will change the geometry of your subject. So circles turn into ovals, for example. And it's why these cameras are so useful for architecture, and it's how they correct converging verticals. They've physically changed the geometry as you tilt the back. So I just wanted to point that out, and it's just worth bearing that in mind, I think, when we're using this. Anyway, so I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to zero this out, put a dark cloth over, change the lens, and I'm going to set it up so you can see the ground glass. Then everything thereafter will be kind of my voice drifting to you off camera. I don't usually do that, but I can't really see any other way to do this particular video. So I hope you find this of interest, hope you find it of some use, and we'll see how it works out. Thanks very much for watching. Okay, so I think you can get that. I can't block the light completely like this, but I think you can see those roses. I think it's pretty clear that the central rose is nice and sharp, and the furthest rose and the nearest rose on the left and right are very much out of focus. So that's with all of the swings zeroed out. Okay. Okay, and now I have applied some swing to the lens panel, swinging towards that plane. And now I think you can see that the middle rose is still in focus, and now the farthest rose has snapped into focus, but the rose on the left hand side is still out of focus. Okay, so there we go. I think that's looking quite good. So let's try a little bit of backswing to see what happens next. Okay, and there is the scene with a little bit of backswing to bring that leftmost rose also nicely into focus. Now, there's one more thing that I want to show before we wind up this video, so let's do that. Okay, and here we're looking at the swing control of the front panel. That's this screw knob here, and I think it's pretty clear the amount of swing that I've given to the lens.